Hello everyone, back to you in today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days, or today's second video, which will take us just to the start of August. However, I think the primary focus of this video will be looking at the heat that's coming up in the next few days. It's going to get very hot, and we could see record-breakingly hot temperatures on Thursday. It's a possibility that we could break the all-time July temperature record, which is currently 36.7 degrees, set on the first day of July in 2015. That was a strange summer because it was otherwise a pretty cool and unsettled summer. We did get one sort of really brief burst of extreme heat on the first day of July, and then it broke the July temperature record, and then it went, and the rest of the month was generally quite cool and unsettled, as was the rest of summer. Anyway, that's going to be the July record to be. There's the outside chance we could break the all-time UK temperature record from the 10th of August 2003, which is over 38 Celsius, over 100 Fahrenheit. So we could break that. I think that's going to be a bit of a stretch. But certainly the July, all-time July temperature record is under big threat. That could well go this week. And as I say, there is a chance that we might get the all-time UK temperature record too. So obviously it's going to be a very, very hot week coming up. We're going to detail all of it for you very shortly. And we will, of course, have a look at the week to 10 days period as well. So we just released a video earlier on today for Camp Bessel and all of the events coming up at the weekend. You're going to have storm watch night, because as well as being very hot, there is also going to be thunderstorms this week, particularly focusing on, at the moment, on Tuesday night and into Wednesday, where there could be some big thunderstorms around. So more on that today's third video, which will be Storm Watch, coming up for you probably this evening. So a lot going on, and we better crack on. We're going to start off at XC Weather. I think we'll be keeping a very close eye on the observations from XC Weather over the next few days. I'm sure we will. So at the moment, our highest temperatures in the east of the country at 28 degrees Celsius. Norwich is at 28, and we've also got Milden Hill. We've got Lake of Heath Royal Air Force Base at 28, and we've also got another Air Force Base, which I can't seem to get up for you at the moment, but that's also at 28 degrees as well, flashy way there. And also up here we have got Conisbee Royal Air Force Base, which is at 28 degrees too. So the heat is on the eastern side of the country at the moment. The lowest temperatures are out in the northwest. Altby, for example, at 16 degrees in west of Scotland. And coming down to the Irish Sea, we've got St Bees Head at just 16 degrees Celsius as well. This heat in the east will be spreading out across the country during the next few days and getting more extreme as well. So actually this 28 that we've got in the east side of the country, flashy way there, those weather stations, that's relatively modest compared to what the temperature will be by this time on Thursday. Here's the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which I'll have in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars is an area in the absolute high pressure, and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure and blue to low pressure. So the ECM in the 7 to 10 day time frame has this area of above average height sitting to our south-southeast. That's what's going to be bringing us a hot weather, or partly it's going to be bringing us a hot weather this week. It's still there to our east, even in the 7 to 10 day time frame, but there is a bit of a difference. With above average heights in the Atlantic, we're just putting in a little bit more of an Atlantic influence to the air and to the jet stream. So temperatures cool down as we get through to the weekend and into the early part of next week. However, we're not going to be far away from hot weather. As long as this ridge stays to our east and southeast, it will allow hot conditions to continue to pump up from sort of southern Europe, Mediterranean, North Africa. So as long as that ridge of above average heights remains to our east, there will be an ongoing risk, I think, that we pull up hot air once again. This is how the GFS is looking. This is quite different. So, in the 7-10-day time frame. So, again, this takes us just to the early part of August. And the above average heights are a lot further east, you'll notice. Above average heights really centering sort of East Germany to Poland. So, got the above average heights in the Atlantic too. But it's much more of an Atlantic influence with the GFS in the 7-10-day time frame. So, therefore, it's rather more unsettled. And I think it's also quite a bit cooler as well, with any heat potential really going up the eastern side of Europe. So quite significant differences actually today with the GFS and the ECM in the 7-10-day time frame. This is how the GFS ensembles are looking for the next couple of weeks. So looking at London today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Obviously, we're very warm at the moment, already up to 15 degrees at 850 HPA. But by the middle of the week, we're up to 20 degrees at 850 HPA. Get a little bit of a drop there, and then we go back up again. That's Thursday, I think, when we're going above 20 degrees at 850 HPA. That could be an all-time upper air temperature record, although we did get quite close to that with the upper air temperatures one day in the last week of June. It was around the 29th of June. Could be. And we didn't particularly realise the temperature potential on the surface then, due to various reasons, like we was pulling in the air from the North Sea, except we did get one very hot day. But anyway, that could be an all-time upper air temperature record. It's certainly going several degrees above 20 degrees at 850 HPA. Kind of like going to 23 degrees, I think, at 850 HPA. After that, the temperatures are dropping away into the weekend. So if you don't like hot weather, quite a lot of people watching this don't like hot weather, especially excessively hot weather like this is going to be. If you don't like it, you've got to get to sort of late Friday into Saturday. That's when you'll feel the push of cooler air from off the Atlantic. It'll go much fresher then. Into the more extended range, which takes into the closing days of July and through the first week of August. So we have quite a bit of scatter appearing within the GFS ensembles then. Looks reasonably close to the 30-year average, but there are a few warmer ensemble members. As I say, as long as we keep that reach just to our east, we will always be at risk of pulling back quite warm air. However, most of the ensemble members through the first week of August are around there, so they're sort of average to possibly even a little bit below. Precipitation-wise, plenty of dry weather coming up for London over the next day or so. Could be some thunderstorms around Tuesday night, into anything more about that in Stormwatch. And then beyond that, it looks like it gradually gets more and more showery really as we go through to the end of August and the beginning of July. However, I've spoken before, but I do think these new ensemble charts from West Central do kind of overplay the precipitation potential a little bit. The spikes always seem to look rather more dramatic on this new view than they would do on the old version of West Central. But probably probably getting probably getting a little bit more showering as we go through towards the end of July and the beginning of August. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd of July to the 30th of August, warmer than average. Not a surprise given what we know we've got coming up. So the highest anomalies to average actually for Scandinavia, where we're going to 10 degrees or more above average. So this heat is going to get its way all the way up to the far north of Europe. Anyway, all parts of Europe are really coming out with a warmer than average week, and looking particularly hot across the northern, central and western parts of Europe. Precipitation anomalies from the 22nd of July to the 30th, showing a bit of a north-south split. So northern parts of the country a little bit wetter than average, Scotland and Northern Ireland drier than average for England and Wales. Let's have a look at the all-important charts then, and this is how the chart's looking for Thursday. This could be a historic day in terms of temperature record. So this is Thursday, 25th of July. We have this area of high pressure to our east across many central and northern parts of Europe. Low pressure is out to the west, and the squeeze of the isobars pulls up the winds from the south. This is a Spanish plume, although the air is actually originating from Saharan Africa. So if you look at the upper air temperature, you can see the extreme heat across Saharan Africa, of course, as you always get this time of year. And the heat that's pushing northwards, or surging northwards, or pluming northwards across the west of Europe, does connect back to that Saharan heat. So it is a Spanish plume, but its origins actually come from North Africa. Very hot upper air temperatures for Thursday. That's Friday. Low pressure just going to be closer to us on Friday, starting to move its attendant cold front in from the west. There's the upper air temperatures at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. They're still looking impressively and exceptionally hot for many parts of the country. But by Saturday, we're pushing those cooler winds in from off the Atlantic. So Friday is a transitional day when we will start to feel cooler, fresher westerly winds heading in from the west, as the upper air temperatures show me extreme heat is being pushed into Europe, and we're actually bringing much cooler, fresher air in from the west. A little bit of a trough around as well over the weekend. That could give some showery outbreaks of rain into the early part of next week. Gradually building up a little bit of a ridge to our southwest, but still low pressure up to the north. So the early part of next week probably goes into a north-south split with rain in the north, mainly dry in the south, and temperatures probably close to average. We get to day 10, and we have got a bit of an extension from the Azores high into the south, so next week could be quite pleasant actually. A lot of dry weather around, particularly for England and Wales, and temperatures nowhere near as hot as they're going to be this week. So this is actually the first day of August, day 10, and that will be a pleasant start to August, certainly pleasantly warm, mainly dry, particularly for England and Wales, but certainly not excessively hot. And then through the first week of August, the GFS, as it is consistently showing at the moment, wants to turn things a lot more unsettled. So this takes us up towards Monday the 5th of August. We look genuinely wet and windy then, a little bit autumnal even, you would say, for northern parts of the country. That's how we finish up with this GFS run, which is Wednesday the 7th of August, trying to build a little bit of high pressure to our south, but still generally in quite an unsettled sort of pattern. That's how the GEM is looking. So again, in agreement with the GFS, high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west on Thursday. We suck up those hot southerly winds, therefore, on Thursday. There's the all-important 20 Celsius ice firm. That's what potentially gets us to record-breaking temperature levels on Thursday. Friday, that low pressure edges in a little bit closer to us. Upper air temperatures at midnight on Friday, still looking exceptionally hot across eastern parts of the country. It's cooler air beginning to move into the west. By midnight on Saturday, that cooler air has broken through across the country. We've turned the winds into the west, and we've dropped the temperature considerably. So Friday is the changeover day from excessive heat to something much cooler and fresher. Notice by midnight Saturday, the upper air temperatures are looking a lot more comfortable through most parts of the country. Into the weekend, a little bit showery again, perhaps. In fact, that does suggest maybe some longer spells of rain as we go from Sunday through to Monday. The GFS isn't as unsettled as that from Sunday to Monday. And into the early part of next week, looking more unsettled with the GEM compared to what the GFS was showing. And that's how we finish up at day 10, which is Thursday, the 1st of August. The first day of August does look rather unsettled, although we are trying to raise the heights a little bit to our south, possibly turning things a bit drier in the far south, southeast, but overall low pressure is still in control of that for the first day of August. And then we've got the ECMWF, of course, in agreement. All models are now agreeing about the chance of this exceptional heat on Thursday. So we've got the high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west. The wind direction, therefore, is southerly to southeasterly. Upper air temperatures, again, show that 20 Celsius ice firm pushing northwards, bringing the chance of temperature records falling on Thursday. That's Friday. Low pressure gets closer to us. Still, many parts of the country, the upper air temperatures are exceptionally hot on Friday. It looks very hot on the eastern side of the country, starting to cool down on the western side. By midnight on Saturday, we have pushed through cooler and fresher air from the Atlantic. See those red colours being moved away to our east as the yellow colours head in from the Atlantic with the upper air temperature. So temperatures through the course of Friday lower, and it starts to freshen up. Not sure there's going to be all that much in way of thunder associated with this drop in the temperature from Thursday to Friday, however. More on that on Storm Watch, but not sure the end of the week is looking all that great for thunderstorms again, but we will have more about that later. That's Sunday, so perhaps going to be showery again on Sunday over the weekend. Don't think it'll be a washout over the weekend, but it could be a bit showery. There could be showers around, and certainly temperatures will be a little bit lower. Now into the early part of next week, we have this area of low pressure down to our southwest, and we are trying to pull back some quite warm, maybe fairly hot air from the south once again. There's the upper air temperature starting to lift up through the early part of next week to nowhere near this week's extent, but it does look like we have a go at pulling back some warmer air from the south with the ECM through the early part of next week. Probably quite unstable though, with heavy showers or thunderstorms being sparked off. And then that's how we finish up on day 10, which is the first day of August. And we've got that high pressure down to our southwest, starting to send in a ridge from the Atlantic. So that's a pretty nice first day to August, especially so for England and Wales. Mainly dry, plenty of sunshine, and pleasantly warm, but not excessively hot. Let's have a look at the temperatures then. So we're at the weather outlook, and this is the high resolution arpège model first of all. So I'm going to run you through, these are on hourly periods, so I'm going to run you through today's temperatures, maxing out possibly at around 30 degrees, somewhere like Norwich, more generally mid to upper 20s Celsius today. Very warm night coming up tonight. So we see temperatures across some eastern parts of the country barely falling below 20 degrees tonight. I think the all-time minimum temperature record could go this week as well. That's around 23 degrees, I think, set a few years ago in London, so that's under threat as well. We go through to tomorrow. It's a hotter day tomorrow. Temperatures across much of southeastern Britain going up to 33 degrees here in the southeastern corner. That's getting into the 90s Fahrenheit, so tomorrow is a hotter day. Going through into the early hours of Saturday. Again, early hours of Wednesday, I should say. Again, you see very, very warm temperatures overnight, Tuesday to Wednesday, barely dropping below 25 degrees in London. That's exceptionally hot. It would break records with those minimum temperatures in London. That sets us up for a very hot day, again, potentially on Wednesday. What could happen on Wednesday is it might start off fairly cloudy, and there will be thunderstorms around on Wednesday morning, so it may take a while for the sun to come out. So although we start off with really high temperatures in the southeast on Wednesday morning, could take a while to brighten up, so that possibly just limits temperature potential a little bit. But even so, we're talking about 32, 33 degrees again on Wednesday, and then we go through to the all-important day, which is Thursday. This is one that could break records. So this is the afternoon temperatures, or these are the afternoon temperatures for Thursday. Widely, arpège is getting temperatures to 35 to 36 degrees across parts of eastern and southeastern. Remember, the all-time record for July is 36.7, so it's there or thereabouts, the arpège, suggesting record-breaking heat on Thursday. Let's see how far we can get. We get through to 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Very, very warm in the east. Beginning to turn a bit cooler out in the west. So that's arpège. This is what the GFS is showing. Again, this afternoon it's going for temperatures upper 20s Celsius on this eastern side of the country. And go through to tomorrow. Always a degree or two too low for GFS. So tomorrow, going from maximum somewhere in London around 31. We know from arpège we probably will be getting around 33 tomorrow. So you always have to add a couple of degrees on with the GFS. 32 being suggested there for Wednesday afternoon in the extreme southeast. Add a couple of degrees on. 34 is possible. And then we go through to the potentially record-breaking day on Thursday, and it suggests maximum temperatures, it's hard to make that, it's very small, but it suggests maximum temperature of 35 best, somewhere around London on Thursday. Increase that by a couple of degrees, you get to 37, which would break the all-time July maximum temperature record, but will fall just short of the all-time UK temperature record set way back in 2003. Well, I say way back, it's 16 years ago. After that, things cooling down, things freshening up as we go through into weekends, so becoming a lot more comfortable then. And then we've got the GEM. I wouldn't normally show the GEM, but yesterday it was suggesting last night I should say, yesterday in the evening, it was suggesting maximums of around 38 possible for eastern parts of England on Thursday, which would be putting it under threat the all-time UK temperature record. Let's see what it's showing for today. So for this afternoon, again, kind of like where our pairs is with its forecast for this afternoon, 28, 29, 30. As a maximum. Tomorrow it's going for widespread maximums of 30, 31, 32, 33. So hot day coming up tomorrow. Another hot day on Wednesday. Again, temperatures low to potentially mid-30s. And then the all-important day is Thursday. So these are the maximum temperatures that the GM is forecasting for Thursday. Let's zoom in, see what it's showing. So it's going for maximums on Thursday across some parts of East Anglia of 37 and some parts of the South East Midlands in towards the London area, so sort of home counties, kind of area of around 37. That would again break the July all-time temperature record. It's 99 Fahrenheit on Thursday afternoon. Record-breaking heat for July, just under the UK maximum temperature record of 38 Celsius from 2003, 10th of August 2003. So this is looking like an extremely hot day now on Thursday, and there will be people quite alarmed about this. But we can only say what the chart's showing, and that is what it's showing. Record-breaking heat, certainly the July temperature record, under threat big time on Thursday. I've got a feeling that's going to go. That July temperature record set from 2015. Touch and go whether we break 2003's all-time UK maximum temperature record, but I certainly don't think it can be ruled out. Just over the other side of the channel, we're sort of seeing temperatures on the other side of the channel up to around 39, even 40 being suggested. Some parts of northern France and the Low Countries on Thursday. I don't get to 40 degrees here, but with such extreme heat just on the other side of the channel, we could break that all-time UK temperature record on Thursday as well. But that's touch and go. The July temperature record, though, is definitely majorly under threat on Thursday. Unless something unexpected happens, it could be that cold front that is pushing through on Friday, might be that comes through a little bit early. If that comes through like Thursday afternoon, then of course it's curtains for any temperature records being broken. So timings with the weather are always critical and crucial, and at the moment it doesn't look as though we push that cold front through until sort of Thursday night to Friday. But if it was to come through 6 or 12 hours earlier than we think at the moment, then obviously that would stop us breaking any temperature records. So we shall keep monitoring and keep you updated over the next few days. How long have we been? 24, so 23 minutes. It's going to be an extended video, but I think it warrants it with this potentially record-breaking weather on Thursday. Right, let's get on with the ECMWF Ensemble. So these are the stories that I've got on the table from the ECM today at day 10. Try to rattle through these very quickly. This from the Icelandic Met Office. We have 19 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights out to our west and northwest and also to our south, and a trough of low pressure sitting close to the country. So they're cooler and fresher as we get to the first day of August, and maybe a little bit showery. 17 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights to our east and to our north. So reasonable amount of dry weather with those. There is weaker pressure to the southwest. They could be quite warm, maybe a bit showery. And then 15, including the control and operational ECM run with above average heights to our east and also to west. Again, weaker pressure out to the southwest of the country. So rather warm but showery with those at day 10 in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got. So 32 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control run, with above average heights out to our north and northwest, and possibly some below average heights to our south. That's a rather different pattern. This is 6th of August, by the way. Suggests potentially winds in from the east or the northeast and might be a bit showery in the south. There's 19, it's a minimum option with high pressure to be sat over top of the country. That's a warmer, drier scenario. CFSV2, finally, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from 22nd to 28th of July, the coming week. Obviously going to be very hot, above average heights to our east, below average heights to the west, pulling up those hot southerly or even southeasterly winds. All change for week 2. This is 29th of July to the 4th of August, below average heights setting up to our north. That hot ridge is being moved away to the eastern part of Europe, and we've got some ridging in the middle of the Atlantic. Jet stream going something a bit like that. So it's a cooler week and a little bit more unsettled as well. Week 3 is the 5th to the 11th of August. Does look rather showery actually here. We've got a trough extending down through the western side of Europe. So that suggests the first 10 days or so of August likely to be quite a lot cooler, rather showery too. Week 4 finally is the 12th to the 18th of August, and the trough of low pressure is weakening and heading up towards Iceland. Pressure rising over Scandinavia and also to our southwest. Could that suggest that the low pressure and the jet stream are lifting out again, and possibly we're raising pressure across the northern parts of Europe? It might do. It might suggest it's turning warmer, hotter perhaps, and drier around the middle part of the month. That first 10 days of August looking rather showery and unsettled though. I just wonder whether some of these models are overreacting a little bit to the breakdown of the heat wave that we've got coming up, whether they're developing low pressure a bit too much going into the early part of August. We shall see, but my suspicion is that it won't be all that unsettled through the first week to 10 days of August, but time will tell. All eyes this week though very much on the heat, and it is going to be turning excessively hot in the south and the southeast through the course of this week. Temperatures will be almost certainly breaking records by Thursday, I think. I'm expecting the July temperature record to fall. Whether the UK all-time temperature record falls from August 2003, I'm more doubtful about that, but the July temperature record is really, really under threat here. And the only thing that can stop it is if we bring that cold front through a few hours earlier, which, because we're talking about the weather in 3 or 4 days' time, that can't be totally discounted, but we might bring that cold front through a few hours earlier on Thursday afternoon. And if we do, there'll be more cloud around. It may spark off some showers, and obviously that will then mean that we don't break any temperature records. But at the moment, just at the moment, it does look as though Thursday could be a record-breakingly hot day. So we shall be keeping updated about this through the week at Galsworthids. And as I say, if you don't like the heat, and quite a few people watching this don't, then you will have to wait till Friday when that push of cool air will come across the country with the cold front. By the weekend, it'll be all over, and temperatures will be back to much more sensible UK summer levels. Been an extended video today, getting on for half an hour, but I think it's warranted with that excessive heat for Thursday, but we've had to look at in depth at. So if you enjoyed the video, then please like, share and subscribe. Remember, there's PayPal and Patreon if you would like to give us a donation and help to keep Galsworthids going and help to keep the content online. But at nearly 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back later on with Stormwatch.